Hello everyone, my name is KF Lawless. It's nice to meet you all. Hope you guys are enjoying the ADV Revival too. I am a first-time commentator on the channel. My background in commentary is mainly in fighting games, mainly Dragon Ball Fighters and Melty Blood. Shout out if you guys are fans. But I've been given the opportunity to commentate a set here on the ADV Revival channel, and so I figured I would commentate one by a gentleman named Scooty McBooty123 because that name sounds incredibly funny. So I have a bit of casual experience playing Gen 3, and I love watching the games, but it's not something I've done a lot of in the past, so I hope you guys enjoy. Starting off, we got a Zapdos versus Milotic. This is really good for Zapdos because, well, obviously you have the super effective Thunderbolt. Dodging the Hypnosis with the Substitute and getting a huge chunk off this Milotic's HP is going to be really big on the left side. And that Substitute on the switch, very good play, calling out the switch. And now he has the option to Baton Pass into his own Celebi. Okay, so that's going to definitely not break the sub here. And the left side Celebi can now begin setting up Calm Minds, but the opponent Celebi also has a Calm Mind of its own. So now we're kind of in an arms race where both sides are trying to get their Calm Mind set up. And what the Celebis on each side do with those Calm Minds is kind of a matter of contention at this point. Unless there's a critical hit and Cryolite Celebi just goes up in flames. Speaking of going up in flames, Snorlax is going to come in and go for a boom, taking out Celebi there, very safe play. You know, handle that threat before it gets a little bit out of hand. Zapdos here as a really good, switch into the Metagross coming in after the explosion, and unfortunately a missed Meteor Mash is going to make a huge problem for Cryolite, even though that Metagross positioned to do some really good damage with the agility. Unfortunately, missing another Meteor Mash, and that is kind of the price you pay for a base 100 attack, and that's going to be game 1 pretty quickly, and we'll go on to game 2 in just a second. By the way, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so that you don't miss any of this awesome ADV Revival gameplay. Right? Okay, so game 2, starting off again with the Zapdos lead in on a Skarmory. Another really great Zapdos lead for Scooty McBooty. But another switch to the Celebi. Are they both using the same team? I don't really know. But Celebi going to fire off a Psychic immediately into the incoming Gyarados. And Scooty kind of chooses to go back into a Skarmory at this point, dodging a Leech Seed. Very lucky, honestly. The hack's kind of going all over the place in this set. A Spike's going up, a little bit of Leech Seed chip coming off the Skarmory. Giga Drain coming out. Not sure what Cryolite was expecting at this point. Maybe a switch to preserve the Skarmory's health, but Scooty's happy to just go ahead and set up some more spikes, eventually getting his third layer, but that HP Fire does do a grip of damage. And now Skarmory pretty much on his last legs, but there might be an opportunity for it to come back in and chip heal a little bit more. Celebi just kind of comfortably sitting here, going for the Giga Drains and the Leech Seeds, keeping itself healthy with its own, self-sustained draining recovery. But that HP flying from Gyarados is going to do a lot. And now Articuno comes in. Interesting. So it's looking like a Superman team on the left side, which means that these spikes are going up, but there's not a lot of impact to them. Taunt coming out from Cryolite Skarmory now, though. Going to be able to stop Scooty from going for a roar here, and now the Thunderbolt is going to thud into the Swampert coming in. That 25% coming off of the spikes is kind of a bit of a one of those things that like breaks your heart when you see a Swampert lose a quarter of its health switching in. But yeah, a lot of switching going on here. Celebi still afraid of Gyarados on that HP flying, that stab, hidden power flying. Like the only good flying stab move that Gyarados has had outside of like mega attacks or whatever they call it, Z moves, that's it, not mega attacks. But the Skarmory switching game is continuing to happen. Zapdos is so threatening though, because those spikes really make it hard for anything to switch in to take a Thunderbolt. And now Tyranitar getting dragged in with the roar. At this point, Tyranitar does threaten out the Zapdos with the Rock Slide, as we see here, and Weezing coming in to take it. Doesn't take it super well, but we might see a Will-O-Wisp coming out here, and yeah, that's going to be correct. Charizard is going to come in to block that, and it's going to be a little bit of pressure on Scooty's side, because now if this Charizard gets a substitute up, we might be able to see something happen. Okay, Flamethrower comes out right off the bat, going for the very safe option there. Gyarados is kind of a, oh my goodness, beat up Charizard into the Gyarados. Not what I was expecting based on the team he's running until, as of now, but it does a grip of damage. Unfortunately, getting toxic means that your beat up will be weaker because you do not actually participate in the beat up if you are status. But Gyarados showing that it does have protect, which is interesting. So kind of toxic, protect, and power flying revealed on this Gyarados. Roaring around, bringing in the Skarmory, great toxic onto the Zapdos, and that is going to be putting it on a timer now. I think he's not running protect, he's running taunt, I believe, on that Skarmory. So bringing in Tyranitar to kind of block the Thunderbolt, he's not taking it very well, unfortunately. That's an easy to hit KO. Crit doesn't really matter at this point. But Aerodactyl comes in, and now this is kind of putting Cryolite in the position he's been waiting for. Skarmory's health has been chipped away a little bit too much thanks to the Celebi's Leech Seed shenanigans earlier on in the game. Flygon does wall the Rock Slide, unfortunately, but at this point, you know, there's a lot of momentum on Cryolite's side, and the Aerodactyl comes back in. I think a double edge from this, it's a little bit, I don't know. Oh, he chooses to go for it. Okay, so the double edge does come out. Flygon's gonna lose a grip of hell. That's a 60% right there. And Flygon is trying to chip heal at this point, stall a little bit of time back. I think he brings in Gyarados for the Intimidate. Okay, no, he brings in Weezing. Okay, that took it better than I expected, but that double edge is still doing a ton of damage. Choice Banded Aerodactyl showing to be one of the most threatening threats to ever threat a person. Articuno gonna come in and do his best. I think Articuno is famous for walling Swampert, because you can run like a rest set or safeguard, or I don't really remember. Oh, Heal Bell, interesting. That's gonna remove the toxic from the Zapdos, which is pretty big. I forgot that Articuno gets Heal Bell. Okay, Ice Beam doing very little, and there's no chance to freeze because you can't freeze an ice type. Hydro Pump comes out. It does miss, unfortunately, but I don't know how much damage it would have done. Articuno, a very bulky Pokemon, as we know. Just spamming the toxic, trying to catch something coming in on the switch, maybe hoping that the Aerodactyl comes in and that he can put it on a timer, because as of now, this Aerodactyl is kind of a little bit of a menace for Scooty McBooty's team. I think that we saw how much damage it did to the Flygon, and nothing else really wants to take a double edge at this point. One more Sleep Churn left on Articuno, so he doesn't have to risk going for the Rock Slide. He can lock... Oh! Sleep Talk. Interesting. That's pretty cool. I think it's too little too late at this point, though, because Aerodactyl is just going to bang his head into the wall and kind of clean up here. Intimidate, maybe giving Gyarados a chance to survive a double edge, but he could always switch out and just bring it back in later is kind of the conundrum. And with the Sandstorm up and limiting the chip heal that Scooty McBooty's side can actually get, it's a little bit rough for the player on the left side. Unfortunate miss on the Toxic. I think a couple of Toxics have just kind of fallen to the wind this game. Celebi is going to come in, lose half of its health to the spikes, and then perish to a Thunderbolt. But now, once again, like I said, the Aerodactyl is here, and he is not playing around. His double edge is here, and not taking any prisoners. I would switch out again and sack something else, just because you want your Aerodactyl's limited number of double edges to have as much impact as possible. So shake off that Intimidate. Good move. Bring in Charizard. Kind of just let Charizard die. You don't really need Charizard for much, so it's kind of just kind of chilling at this point, because Aerodactyl really has a kind of a, how should I say, a clear path to victory here. Skarmory getting the Toxic on the Zapdos, that is nice. But yeah, it's just kind of a matter of stalling until Aerodactyl comes in. Oh, okay. Zapdos has the rest here. Maybe some way for Zapdos to bring it back. I don't know if you have Sleep Talk on this too. Hopefully, like, maybe catch the Aerodactyl coming in with a Thunderbolt. Oh, there is Sleep Talk. You do get the Roar. And so now Zapdos is in a weird position where you just kind of want something to die on Cryolite's side so you can bring in that Aerodactyl. Oh, well, Scooty decides to bring it in for him. And he's back, and the Rock Slide does land true, and that is going to be a KO on Zapdos. And at this point, I think the game is pretty much wrapped. You can just sack something to bring in Aerodactyl again without the -1. And from 41%, I think a double edge should get the trick. Oh, wow. I think Scooty's running Rest Sleep Talk on, what, 3 out of his 6 Mons? His Gyarados, Zapdos, and Articuno all have that Rest Talk mechanic going on. However, Cryolite just doing his thing and putting a taunt on that Gyarados to keep him from actually resting and using Sleep Talk again. And interesting enough, Skarmory here is actually faster than the Gyarados. I didn't even notice that. But that's, I guess, one way to prevent him from resting. And now, yeah, because you are faster, you can prevent him from resting up. And at the end of the day, it looks like Skarmory can just clean it up on this Gyarados. So this is pretty much like a endgame situation because Gyarados' only attack is the Hidden Power Flying, and that is not going to chip through the Skarmory, not with the leftovers chip heal. So Taunt Skarmory kind of taking it to the sticking it to the man and wearing down a Gyarados, even though they have the breast talk. Very interesting. Not something you see very often, right? I think I think, you know, Scooty doing the tournament thing, you know, good practice to just play it out until the end, right? I mean, I don't know. Personally, I don't believe. I'm not a believer. But Cryolite thinking, at this point, I can bring in Charizard and kind of finish it off with a Dragon Claw or a Flamethrower from 9% here. And yeah, okay, awesome. So that's going to be game 2 in favor of Cryolite, and we're going to go on to a game 3. Hope you guys are enjoying. Once again, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's go ahead and get the last game of this set going. All right, so lead with Tyranitar into Zapdos once again on the left side. Substitute coming out, very consistent starting play from Scooty McBooty. And Cryolite gonna set up a substitute of his own. Now Tyranitar is generally more favored in these matchups unless the Zapdos is running like Choice Band Hidden Power Fighting, which has caught me off guard on occasion. I cannot front. Right, but the Thunderbolt comes out, goes at 44% on that Tyranitar, but with the leftovers chip heal, I think he'll be out of range, and now Zapdos is threatened. Does he go for a Pursuit expecting a switch? No, he doesn't. Okay, so Crunch does come out, Zapdos does faint, and Dugtrio comes in to clean up Tyranitar. So it's not the same team as last time. Maybe he's running a Weather Clear of sorts. It's kind of yet to be determined what kind of team we're running here on the left. Suicune comes in, which could indicate a Weather Clear strategy, trying to give the Suicune some room to get set up with chip heal. Dodges a Will-O-Wisp, of course, not something you're super worried about taking on Suicune, but you know, better to avoid it if you can. And Celebi is going to come in and catch the burn, of course. Natural Cure on here, meaning that it's not a huge problem. Charizard coming in though, Cryolite, a big fan of Charizard it seems, and is going to come in on the Suicune. Now Gengar is going to catch a Surf to the face, kind of give him some water to brush those nice shiny teeth with, and a Will-O-Wisp does come out on the Suicune. Calm Mind does come up, ensuring that it'll be very difficult for a Thunderbolt to 2-hit KO even after the burn chip. However, if Gengar goes for an explosion, oh okay, so now we've got the funny arms race going on where Suicune will either burn itself to death or take out the Gengar with a Surf. And okay, here we go. Yeah, so Destiny Bond, a very, you know, safe way to get rid of any scary setup sweeper. And yeah, okay, it's definitely a Weather Clear team because we see a Kingdra here. Dragon Claw coming out from Charizard, not quite enough, and the Rain Dance does come out, giving Kingdra the opportunity to sweep through Cryolite's team. Cloyster coming in, taking a resisted 57% from Surf. You didn't even need to do the Hidden Power, big dog. You could have just gone for Surf again. Swampert coming in, and Hidden Power Grass doesn't do very much though. That did way less than I was expecting, but okay. I guess it's a very bulky Kingdra. Maybe explains why it took so little damage from that Dragon Claw. Celebi coming in for that Calm Mind. That Rain, if it had stayed up a little bit longer, would have given him a lot of confidence in taking a fire move. But the Flamethrower does come out into the Moltres. Now Moltres here, one of my favorite Pokemon. Let me tell you all about Sky Attack Moltres one day. Today is not the day for that, but one of these days we could talk about Sky Attack Moltres. Flamethrower from the Moltres coming out does a lot of damage, almost as much as the Charizard's Dragon Claw, interestingly enough. A little bit more speed investment on the Moltres than on Charizard here, and that is going to be a KO on Moltres right now. How does Scooty kind of get around the Swampert? I assume it's going to be, yeah, okay, good double switch into the Celebi, giving the opportunity to kind of get set up here with a Calm Mind. Yes, I like that, because now I think it guarantees you, oh, but Charizard is still in Blaze range. Oh, but you're faster, and you get a critical hit. Is that Hidden Power Grass? I think so. Oh, that crit might have mattered, because that's a ×4 resist, isn't it? And now Jolteon comes in with the paralysis on Celebi, but I don't think it matters. It's too little too late, because, oh, sometimes you just want to Baton Pass Calm Minds to Dugtrio. So you can take the Hidden Power. Interesting. Okay, yeah, you know what? I see you, Scooty McBooty. Okay, I see you, big dog. Alright, so that's going to be the game. Scooty McBooty taking it. Calm Mind Dugtrio coming in clutch to tank an HP Grass from the Jolteon. I would not have expected that. Well, it might have been HP Ice, actually. No, probably Grass, because he would have done it against the Celebi if it was HP Ice, but we saw him go for Thunderbolt there. But Dugtrio coming in, catching a Calm Mind on the Baton Pass, and putting it to use. So I'm very, how should I say, pleasantly surprised by the outcome of that battle. That was really interesting. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Revival Tournaments channel for more awesome Gen 3 advanced content. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back on this channel again some other time. But in the meantime, y'all be easy. Peace out.